Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine you've planned this dream trip, right? You've done all the research, then you get there and your perfect spot is just, well, it's overrun, packed buses, gridlock. It kind of ruins the magic. This is really happening in places like Kyoto, dealing with serious over-tourism. But what if AI could help? Not by telling people what to do exactly, but by understanding and guiding behavior.
Today, we're diving deep into an academic study looking at just that, using advanced math models for smarter, more sustainable travel in Kyoto.
Yeah, it's really interesting work. It comes from folks at places like National Taiwan Ocean University and Nihon University. And what they're tackling is that core over-tourism problem. Too many people vying for the same resources. Think public transport. You've got tourists wanting to see the sights and residents just, trying to live their lives. In Kyoto, that clash is intense. Absolutely. That's a key point. Post-pandemic, Kyoto's tourism boom has really strained their buses and trains. And the usual city planning tools, they just haven't kept up with these huge swings in visitor numbers. So yeah, the challenge is, how do you manage that? How do you ease the crowding without, putting up a keep out sign or making life impossible for locals?
Right. And this study offers a pretty clever approach.
Yeah.
An AI-powered travel assistant app. It's more than just maps. Think personalized suggestions based on real-time crowding forecasts. It helps you build an itinerary to dodge the worst jams. And crucially, it has this bus reservation feature. You get a QR code for priority boarding.
Okay, and this is the smart part for balancing needs, isn't it? Locals always get first dibs on those reserved bus seats, then tourists who've booked. The goal isn't to block people, but to guide maybe a critical minority, as they call it, to just shift their plans slightly. It's about smarter flow, right? Like, hey, the Golden Pavilion's swamped now, but the bamboo forest is quieter, and we can guarantee you a comfy reserved bus seat there if you go now. Gentle nudges.
Exactly. And it's not just for the tourists. This system feeds data back. Real-time demand info goes straight to Kyoto's Transport Bureau, so they can adjust bus schedules, allocate resources better. It makes the whole transport network more adaptive, more data-driven.
Okay, but making people actually use a new app, especially one that might change their plans, that's always the hard part. How do you convince tourists to adopt this? And this is where the study gets, really academic and interesting. They use something called the cusp catastrophe model, which sounds dramatic.
Kind of is, but it's a powerful mathematical tool.
Yeah.
Think about bending a ruler. You apply pressure, it bends, then suddenly, snap, it breaks. That sudden change. The cusp catastrophe model helps analyze those abrupt shifts in behavior, things that aren't just simple cause and effect. It looks at factors influencing app like usefulness, but also these splitting factors like cost or, interestingly, environmental responsibility.
So what did this complex model show? Well, some things were predictable. People were more likely to use the app if they thought it was useful and beneficial. Makes sense. And yeah, if it seemed costly, that was a deterrent. No big surprise there. But the really fascinating bit was about environmental awareness, their environmental responsibility cognition. It didn't have a direct linear effect on whether people used the app.
But, and this is the crucial insight, its nonlinear influence was significant, statistically speaking. So while just feeling environmentally responsible might not automatically make someone use the app day to day, under certain conditions, maybe when faced with a specific choice or crowded situation, that feeling can suddenly kick in. It acts like a switch, triggering a sudden jump towards using the app. It's not a gradual thing. It really highlights how complex our motivations are.
Yeah.
Simple A to B thinking just doesn't capture it.
That's profound, really. It's not just about this app. It applies to so much, trying to influence behavior. It's often more like flipping a switch than slowly turning a dial. So what's the takeaway for Kyoto or other cities?
Well, first, clearly communicate the practical value. Show the benefits, address the costs head on. That's standard. But the deeper lesson is about leveraging that nonlinearity. Maybe use tailored incentives or specific prompts at just the right moment. These could activate that sudden behavioral shift in environmentally minded tourists, boosting adoption of these smart systems. It provides a framework, really, for managing behavior in these complex urban environments by understanding those hidden tipping points.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder. Effective solutions aren't just about the tech itself. They're deeply tied to understanding how people actually make decisions, these nuanced, sometimes sudden, non-linear ways. So thinking about all this, what really stands out to you? How could understanding these sudden shifts change how cities plan for, everything from tourism to our daily commutes?